Okay, so it has now been just over a year since we did and got back from Orlando Disney, and since then have done Paris Disney. And so, as we said, there's going to be a little bit of a recap of both of the holidays now that we are back home and we have the mindset of having both of them in comparison. So we'll talk a little bit about our favourite bits of each of the holidays, what we like best about each of them, what we like worst out of each of them, and everything in between. Firstly, though, we've got some swag to unpack. Now, this is your ears that you got while there, which I really like. But there's something even better than that, which you're hiding just out of frame. Now, tell me, how many nights have you gone without cuddling him?
0.
0.
Look at him though. Look how cute he is.
He is very cute.
He's just too sleepy.
He's too sleepy to do much. He doesn't want to do all that much. The way that
He's
you
just a
were,
cute boy.
the way that you were carrying him like a literal baby on the way back. Now, do I mention at this point that I came very close to getting a Rocket Raccoon one of these for myself, but we were like just out of space,
There are
so I
cuter
didn't
ones,
bother.
though.
Yeah. Now we couldn't get the
But
Figment
he's the
one.
cutest.
He is the cutest.
Yeah, I've wanted the Figment one for ages, but I couldn't find it anywhere. It's not going to be in Paris, obviously.
I don't think it is
I
going to be
couldn't
in the
find
Paris
it
one.
when we went to Florida either, so.
They're rare. They're a rare
I
commodity.
didn't think they were. I saw somebody with one, and I just couldn't find them.
Yeah, it's just hard to find.
I don't know.
And the reason that we are now filming this sometime into December is because there were some souvenirs and some things, some merch that we bought at Paris that we couldn't show off because they were presents for you
Oh.
for your birthday. So, starting at the top, if you want to display what ones you got as your presents, I don't know if you can really see it on the camera. I'm not sure if it's going to show up. Oh, there we go. Beautifully done there. Well done. That's Avengers Campus. Here you go. There we go. Avengers Campus t-shirt.
It's got this on the back as well.
Very nice. Beautifully shown off. Beautifully modelled.
Yeah, but I thought this was kind of cool because it's like, it's still their merch, but it's really subtle. So you could just get away with wearing it as a white t-shirt with like a regular outfit, and it's just got like that little bit on the pocket, which is kind of nice. I know where it's from, but I mean that's not hugely. For some reason, it's got I thought that was the washing instructions on the outside.
I
but
thought
it's
it
not.
was
It's
as
all
well.
of the like Avengers symbol thing.
That's actually quite clever, I've got to say, because it does look like it's washing instructions on first look.
Because it's got
But
like
then
the
you
X,
look closer.
the X through, that's really strange.
That's really cool.
But that was €30, so
That's
not
not
too
too
bad. For
bad.
like a t-shirt. I mean, for a t-shirt it's quite expensive, but for merch I suppose it's
And
average.
especially considering how subtle it is, like you wouldn't necessarily know what it is until you looked a little closer at
It's
it.
it's really good quality as well. It's like quite thick, like feels thick.
Yeah,
So that's good.
that's nice. And you also got this one as well.
Yeah, and I got this one, which is really cool.
Now I
Ta-da!
really like that one. I really like the colour of it,
That's on the back.
and I really like the style of it
And
because
actually, like you pointed out that the back's longer than the front, and it kind of makes it look like the tails on that uniform and the cast member uniform. So that's really cool.
really smart. I thought that was like a little detail on it that's like,
I found it weird that I could get better Hollywood Tower merch in Paris than actually in America, which is true.
I thought that as well. That's something we'll talk about as well, is like the merch comparison between both of them.
I
But
can't really remember now, but
the Hollywood Tower, the Tower of Terror merch, I got a nicer pin.
then you
And-
went to the shop,
Yeah.
the Tower Hotel shop in Florida, but I didn't.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
There
I don't
really
think
wasn't
they
that
had
much.
stuff like this because I think I saw this online and it was new when we went in September, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't really remember.
The pin game at Paris was better.
Oh, was it?
For Hollywood Tower of Terror, it was, yeah. You got something here that you've been looking for ages. Mickey soap.
Mickey soap. And then I tried it as soon as we got back and pressed it, did the thing. I didn't think there was anything in there. I'd taken all of it out.
We emptied it out, but there obviously is a little bit left in the spout.
I thought it's more than 50 ml and we only had carry-on luggage, so I couldn't take it, or 100 ml, whatever it is.
Well, obviously they didn't notice.
Well, because that's not more than 100 ml.
No, that's fine.
But anyway, I tried to do it and it didn't really come out like Mickey, so I don't know if that's worth it. But it was, what was it? Either really discounted or free with certain amount spent?
No, it was super discounted. It was like €5.
I'm sure it was like, 4 or 5.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I was debating this for a while, but I eventually just sort of caved and got it because I thought it is unique to Paris. I got a Phantom Manor Spirit jersey, and these were relatively new at the point that we went. So it's got that logo on the front, it's got a print along the bottom, and it says Phantom Manor in big letters across the back. And I was debating it only because I thought, well, I've already got 2 Spirit jerseys. Do I need to have another one that I might not end up wearing? And then I kind of thought, this is so unique to Paris.
And then it's funny because everybody has like 100 Spirit jerseys and you're saying, do I need 3?
Do I need to have 3?
Nobody needs 3.
And there are people that literally live in Spirit jerseys.
Nobody needs 3, but you just want it. It's not a need.
And so I figured I might actually just throw this on now so that people can see me in it.
It's got a QR code at the bottom, which I found I'd never seen that before, and I thought that was really interesting. That they had, I can't find it now.
There is a QR code sort of as a tag.
You're wearing it but not wearing it.
On the bottom. Let me throw it on and we'll see it somewhere. Oh yeah, it's right there. It's right there. There's a little tag
there we go.
on the bottom.
It's a QR code and it gives you like, is it exclusive website? Well, it's a page on a website that's like exclusive content to just this ride. And I thought that was really interesting because I just thought it was really cool. I don't know why they don't do that for everything. But I mean, they could just put that, if they put that on the Avengers Campus one and just gave you, it doesn't even have to be anything, it's just cool to scan and go, oh, what does this do? And I think it had it on the...
It could just link it to a video that sort of says...
anything. Oh, this is...
well done on purchasing Spirit jersey.
Just anything fun.
You could do it on the Avengers one and it could be Captain America doing the promo video. So, you decided to buy Avengers Campus merch.
How expensive would that be, though?
That would be amazing.
No, but they had it for something else as well. There was another Spirit jersey for... There wasn't was there a Tower of Terror Spirit jersey?
There was one of these for Phantom Manor. There was one of these for Big Thunder Mountain.
And they had the QR code of that as well.
And there was one of these for Pirates of the Caribbean as well. So they were each in the same style where they had like the print along the bottom.
So maybe it's something new that is going to start happening. I don't know, but it was very cool.
But yeah, I really like this. And it is sort of all in French in some parts because it says Madame Lyoto. And I really like this. So this is
That's
now
my... anyway, isn't it?
I think it's a French abbreviation though, which I found interesting. And this is now, I think, my second favourite Spirit jersey, next to the limited edition Jurassic Park 30th anniversary one. So I really like this one. Been waiting to wear it for ages.
I haven't worn this one before.
No, not even worn it yet. You also got this from Avengers Campus.
I really like this.
Which is Stark Industries. That's the web slinger ride one. So it says that you're like an intern.
But it's just... Oh, yeah, so it's got the... Paris Workshop it says. I didn't
it does say Paris Workshop.
Worldwide Engineering Brigade, Paris Workshop.
So it actually is unique to Paris, that one, in a little way. So that's also
so that's
really
not going to
good.
be on the Hollywood one or the California one.
No.
Yeah, it's really cool. It feels comfortable and really soft. I haven't worn this yet, even though I've taken the label off. And I don't know how much that was. Don't know how much this was.
This Spirit jersey was about 80 euros,
Yeah,
which in British money is not that far off of 80
it's just
euros.
regular anyway.
So
that's
regular
about the
Spirit
normal
jersey price.
But yeah, this just seemed like I just thought it was cool that it was like it was merch, but it was you are part of the technology. I'm an intern. I go to the college, whatever it is. I thought that was a bit unique. I like merch things like that kind of have like a hint of stuff like Gotham Uni, and
yeah, like immerses you in it, which I thought was really cool. We've also got a bunch of pins, which were limited release ones. So that is the one that you were desperately after, which was really cool. There we go.
Really
yeah. You got it. So that's the Halloween Marie
can't
one.
Really see it properly because she's white, but she's got really cute fangs, like she's a vampire.
She's got little tooths out.
And we were like asking everybody, when is this Halloween stuff going to come out? Because we saw it on Instagram. Is it going to be out here? Is it going to be here today? And we were just running around all the shops to try and find the right stuff. And then we went there, and it was behind the counter.
Yeah. And we thought that you were going to have to sign up to a website for like a ticketed release for them. But it turned out that was only a small selection of them. And it was only these 3 ones you need to buy a ticket for. So we didn't need to buy a ticket to get these.
It's a big one, but it's only got 1 pin on the back, which I'm surprised by. Like, you'd think it would have like...
Yeah, that one I would have thought would be a little heavier.
Yeah.
That's quite cool though. I do like that one.
Oh, there we go.
Expertly modelled.
I just thought, but you can't see the fangs, but that's the cutest part.
It's like you're a professional.
I'm not, obviously.
There's also this one, which is a little jack-o'-lantern Stitch. And I got this for a friend, so I need to send that to him. I need to mail it to him. So hopefully this video doesn't actually come out before he gets it. So I'm going to have to send this tomorrow. But hopefully he should have it by that point. I also got this Halloween pin, and it looks like this is 2 separate ones, but they are actually joined right there in the middle. It's a Halloween Mickey with a jack-o'-lantern. And that one actually does have 2 on the back. But as you can see, it's actually not that much bigger than the Marie one by comparison. So I do find it odd that Marie only has the 1 on the back, but this one has 2.
I guess it's because it's thinner, it's not as heavy. That one's quite heavy.
This one does look a little chunky, but I'm going to find a special place on my denim jacket for that one to go.
I think we got it from the Disney Village.
It was the World of Disney shop, yeah. That one has different merch to the other Disney store. You're just worried about where that's going to go. Down there, it's fine. The World of Disney shop has sort of more home stuff, doesn't it? Like crockery and ornaments and like things like that.
Normal World of Disney, it's just extra.
Yeah.
Extra stuff. It's not as big as...
Whereas the Disney store is sort of more the Mickey plushies and everything like that. Your arguably favourite piece of merch, which I'm going to take the foam out of it so that it actually rings.
Oh, this is €8. That's actually quite cheap. So it's like a proper, like the clerk bell from the reception at Hollywood Tower. Oh.
Love it.
That's not very loud.
There we go. Now, when I tell you that when we were buying this, there was a 5-year-old kid in the shop, literally just going 15 minutes straight. That was happening. 15 minutes straight.
Why wouldn't you do that?
I've never been so eager to make a purchase and leave the shop. I was like, I can't actually concentrate on what I'm buying. I hope I'm buying the right thing. Let's just buy it and go.
Acting like you wouldn't have done it.
I probably would have, to be honest. I do have receipts from all of these, so I can tell you exactly how much each of the pins were.
They're not available anymore, so it doesn't really matter.
Oh, they are all €9. So the Mickey one, the Marie one, the Stitch one, and there's a Madame Leota one that I also got that's on my lanyard. They were all €9. So €9 for those pins is not so bad. We also have my signed Avengers comic. I don't know that the signatures are actually going to turn up on that. Oh, there we go. Fantastic. So you can see there is...
For some reason, obviously nobody in France reads comic books, so they just didn't know
They signed it all lengthways, which I found strange. So there's Ant-Man along there, and Doctor Strange and the Wasp, and Spider-Man signed it that way. And along the back, which is bordered over at the moment, is Loki's signature, because I gave him the choice, as I gave him the green pen, and I gave him the choice of whether he wanted to be on the front but share the space with heroes like Spider-Man and Doctor Strange, or whether he wanted his own entirely unique page to himself. And he said, give me the back cover and I will take up all of it.
That's funny.
Which I thought was
very funny.
He was great. So that was my signed comic book by the heroes that we met. And we also got a Daily Bugle on check-in to our Marvel hotel, which was kind of cool because it tells you all about the hotel and all about the activities that are happening in the park. And we also got a little envelope with some postcards and stuff from our room, some little art prints, which I thought was quite cool. And I thought, well, we'll hang on to that as a nice little thing as well. So that's the majority of the merch that we bought. We obviously bought a couple of other bits and pieces as we were going around, like a few other pins that went straight onto lanyards to do pin trading with. So that's the majority of what we got and where our money for the holiday went. I'm so glad I'm wearing this now. It's actually really nice. And I like that it's like so bright on the back.
Yeah,
Every time I think like, oh, the back is quite cool, and then I turn around and see it, it's like, oh, actually it is really bright. So what were your favourite bits of Disneyland Paris?
I'm not really sure, because what I really liked was how it was kind of one huge Magic Kingdom, because Magic Kingdom's like my favourite part of going to Disney World. And you kind of had to spend the whole day doing Magic Kingdom things because it was the only big thing there. Obviously you can go into next door, the studios, and now that's got Avengers Campus, that's better, but it's not as big. And you go to the Remy Adventure and that restaurant, and it's, oh, that's it, you look, oh. But yeah, I just like the fact that you kind of have to do magical things because that's the only thing there. That's what I love. Yeah,
like Disney Studios is nice, but queuing times aside, you could do most of what's in that park in like half a day, because there's obviously stage shows there as well, which are quite cool, but you have to get in line and wait for particular times for those. But if you're not
hours earlier as well,
right, especially if you want to be able to have a good seat. So if you don't do those and the queuing times aside for the rides, you can do a lot of what is there in like half a day, 3/4 of a day.
I think so. I mean, like, if you really love Avengers, hanging around at Avengers Campus just to wait and see what's going to happen, because things just kind of naturally happen, like they just start coming out, or things just
spontaneously
start popping off. So if you really like Avengers, then you could spend probably all day just hanging around there and seeing what's going to happen. But I think it's cyclical, so after a certain amount of time, you're just going to see the same stuff.
Yes.
So yeah, you don't have to do that. But the parades I thought were better. The show that I saw in their Magic Kingdom, what do they call it?
It's just Disney Paris.
Disney Paris, just the Disney park.
Yeah. Yeah, you did say that parade was one of the best things you'd ever seen.
I'd never been so close to them. Like, they'd never come off the floats and things in parades that I'd seen, and they were doing proper dancing, like properly choreographed dancing. The song was amazing. It was just so good. So I really enjoyed that. That was a real highlight for me. I've never stayed in a Disney. Well, I have stayed in a Disney resort, but as an adult. I haven't stayed in a Disney resort as an adult before. So it's not that I really remember. And it was nice to go to the hotel, drop our stuff off, and then go straight to the park straight away. So I really liked that, like, our holiday started as soon as we got there.
Because they're
Like,
so
we got
close
off the
by
train,
as well.
We dropped our stuff off, and then it was like, well, straight to the park, no waiting. Oh, it's just smooth things. Like, we go to Florida, and you pick up your car, and you drive to the villa, and then you have to, the next day you get all your food in, and then the day after that you might start thinking about when to go to the parks. And it's like, oh, no, I just want to get there. This is what I'm here for.
Exactly, and that's actually a really good point, because I was going to bring this up at some point as well. Because I wanted to sort of talk about, like, the travel aspect comparison and the hotel aspect comparison between Disney Paris and Disney Orlando. Now, obviously, where we live in England, it's kind of unfair to compare the travel costs.
Yeah.
Because to get to Orlando, we would have to fly.
Mm-hmm.
But to get to Paris, there's a couple of different
you don't really
options
have to fly,
available.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So the travel cost aspect of it is a bit unfair to compare. But the travel time aspect, like you said, going to Orlando, like, you can zone out while you're on the plane. So 8 hours, 10 hours, whatever on the plane is... like, that could fly by if you're sleeping or if you're doing stuff. You're not really concentrating on time going by. But once you're there, like you said, you've got to get a car, you've got to check in somewhere, you've got to go and pick up stuff, like to eat. And then, depending on whether you're staying somewhere else like we did, or if you're staying in a Disney resort, you either have to get in your car and go there, or you have to at least get on the monorail to get there. With Disney Paris, you can get off of the train when you're there, or if you're driving, you can drive straight to where your hotel or where you're staying locally is. But for Disney Paris, the hotels are so close to the park.
Yeah, it was a 10-minute walk, wasn't it?
It was.
It was a 2-minute walk to Disney because we were in the Disney Village immediately.
Right.
But then it was a 10-minute walk, probably 10 minutes.
For our hotel, and
It wasn't
considering
even 10 minutes.
It wasn't even 10 minutes.
That's 10
considering
minutes from room to door.
Right. I reckon from door to door, from our hotel room to the park was about 10 to 15 minutes. But that's us walking at a pace where we're like, oh, what's this over here? Oh, what's this over here? Oh, let's go in there later. Oh, let's stop and get a coffee here. Oh, you are that close to it. So Disneyland Paris, as far as hotel and travel time goes, absolutely, hands down, would absolutely do again.
When we go to Florida, because we do other things or want to have independence, go shopping and that type of thing. So if you don't want to do any of that and you're just going to Disney World for the experience of doing Disney, you could stay in the resort for a week and you could get off the plane, drop your bags and go straight into the park. So you'll have the same experience. It's just we don't choose to do that. Yeah, I mean, I suppose going to a park after an 8-hour flight might not be crazy, I don't know. But, I mean, we have to do it to find out.
But yeah, exactly. Like, after if we touch down after an 8-hour flight and we're like, should we just go straight to the parks?
I would love that.
I
think I'd actually like that. That would be the thing that would be keeping me on the plane.
I'd be down for it. I'd be like, let me neck some caffeine. Okay, now we're good to go. Yeah. So it'd be like, okay, I can probably carry on because I've been sat down for 8 hours, so I don't mind standing up for a bit now.
The transport choices in Orlando are pretty good, and then obviously in California, the monorail I think is quite good, and it goes straight there from the hotel. That's pretty much in the park now, anyway.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, you could probably have the same experience in other places.
California one is, I think, on a very similar scale to Disneyland Paris as far as size goes. So if you're staying somewhere close to it,
California Adventure is probably a bit bigger than.
Oh, California Adventure is definitely bigger than Walt Disney Studios. 100%. There's definitely a lot. Even the Avengers Campus is bigger, I reckon, because they've got room for expansion. That's not to say they might not expand Disney Studios in the future, because there's more things happening. But yeah, being able to walk from our hotel to Disneyland in the space of like 10 minutes.
Yeah, I really like that. And the hotel was amazing as well.
The Marvel Hotel is the best hotel I've ever stayed in.
Yeah. Yeah, the room was huge, which is something that I wasn't kind of used to, because I've seen vlogs and things of people going to all the other Disney resorts, and I look at the hotel rooms and they're just exactly what you would expect. So when I walked into the Marvel Hotel, I couldn't believe how huge the room was. It's unbelievable. I was just like, oh yeah.
We could have had a kickabout in that room.
Yeah,
there was enough space for a kickabout.
It's crazy.
You could have set up an exercise bike in the corner and still had space to like.
I mean, it
do
is really
stuff.
expensive. So the 4 days that we did are probably the right amount.
Yeah.
For what you're paying, because you don't. I mean, yeah, it's really expensive.
I don't feel like we missed out in 4 days.
No, I think 4 days was fine.
I feel like the 4 days that we were there, we managed to do everything that was on our list.
Yeah.
And especially considering how hard we had to fight to get on to Big Thunder Mountain, because it kept shutting down. So once we eventually did that, I was like, everything on our list is done.
I wanted to do. They've got a couple of like exclusive shows that I wanted to do, but when I got there, I mean, it's kind of, you have to compromise on a Disney trip versus, you know, what you really wanted to do before you got there, and then when you get there, what you decide is more important, and you don't know that until you're actually there. I feel, and so when I got there and saw the queue length and the fact that people were waiting an hour or 2 hours before the show even started. So an hour before the show started, the queue was closed because it was capped.
It was crazy.
So I made the decision to then say, oh, I want to do other things. I want to just wander around and take in the vibe and the atmosphere and just kind of naturally see what happens. So that wasn't something that I did kind of that I wanted, but.
And we figured out later that because it was the Frozen show, you meet Olaf afterwards.
You meet Olaf afterwards,
and that's
people
what.
Were going crazy for it. But there's things. There was like some of the other shows you have to book for. One of them you have to pay for. One of them we were on MasterCard, so you don't have to pay for, because it's like a MasterCard kind of treat thing.
That was weird.
I don't know if that runs out, but that's what it was when we were there. So that's like an extra thing that you have to then go and book your ticket and then be there for the time, and it's just a time constraint thing when you're there for 4 days isn't exactly like the easiest planning.
No.
It's quite awkward, because we wanted to do all of the restaurants as well, so we booked loads of like a couple of meals, so we had to be there for certain times, so we're kind of trying to work around that, which I don't regret, because it meant that we got really good food and it was really good. And
I'd like to point out that was mostly down to your organisation of the restaurants. Like the only way that we got to the restaurants that we did was because you were smart in planning it.
Yeah.
You researched it.
I did.
And you planned it ahead. Like the Orlando trip, like we both kind of had a hand in organising some parts of it, like trying to get some of the experiences, some of the restaurants, organising the park days and what we were going to do on each day, because you had to have park reservations for specific days in Orlando.
Yeah.
Paris, you sorted it all, and it all just sort of blended together perfectly.
Yeah, it worked.
Which was amazing. So well done.
I don't think I'm wrong, but I might be. If you stay in a resort,
you rarely are.
If you stay in a resort in Paris, you get 12 months ahead to book reservations. So you can book for 12 months ahead. So if I wanted a restaurant a year in advance, I'd be able to book it on the app, because I was staying in a Disney resort. And in Florida it was 6 months, I think.
Yeah.
So I only planned in January or February, and we went in September. So that's still quite a long time, and I was really hard pushed to get good reservations. Even then there was nothing, and it was kind of, in Florida you can have, oh well, just give it a go the day before and see if you get lucky with a cancellation, because sometimes that does happen. And that kind of happened to us. We waited a little bit later, but I don't get the feeling that happens in Paris.
No.
Because every time we went, somebody would say, have you got a reservation? And then if people were saying no, they weren't saying, hang around and see what happens. They were saying,
it was literally
okay,
like,
can leave,
that's
please.
it.
You're not even
Which
allowed
I found
to
like...
be in the Jack Sparrow restaurant. They were really strict.
They were,
and you couldn't even go past a certain point if you didn't have a reservation. She was kind of immediately shutting you down and saying, no, can you leave, please? You're not supposed to be here. So it's like, it was really exclusive, which made me feel good.
Made me feel pretty good as well. I was like, wow. I was like, wow, we're actually pretty lucky to have this table then,
So
I
you really
guess.
have to be quick. So we did a few lunches instead of dinners because that's what was available, but that's just what it is. So that's not hugely different. You just have to be better at planning that, I suppose.
Yeah. Best restaurant of the trip for you?
Best restaurant of the trip for me was probably the Captain Jack's one. I really like that. But food overall, everywhere was good. Our hotel buffet meals, especially the breakfast, where I was surprised that I could have. There were vegan option pastries and things. That was really good.
Which was it? The downtown was the buffet one. It was either the downtown or the Manhattan. I get
But
confused.
both were just so good.
But the evening buffet meal that you had organised, which you had to have a time for, and the breakfast, which you didn't have to have a time for,
we just turned up for breakfast because we were staying in the resort, so that was
which
fine.
you just get is, but you still, I think, pay for at the...
You do pay for it.
Yeah. But you can just turn up if you're just staying at the hotel. Both of those were so good for vegetarian vegan options.
Yeah.
And in general, I felt like the vegetarian vegan options at Disneyland Paris were limited, but were really good.
Yeah, well, I mean, I would say limited in the way that there's maybe only 1 or 2 options on a whole menu if you're vegan.
Right.
But compared to Florida, when there was tons and tons of restaurants that we couldn't even step foot in because they didn't have any options.
Yeah.
It's miles ahead of that. I mean, we had a vegan fish and chips meal, which was unbelievable, and I loved that. I had that twice.
We had that twice.
Well, I had it twice. You had it once.
I went and got the vegan chili hot dog from Casey's.
Even to have that option is just amazing. So that was good. That was much better.
And the snack game, like the Instagrammable snack kind of options, weren't
weren't as good.
Yeah, not at Paris, because they weren't on board with all of the stuff like Dole Whip and churros and stuff like that.
Not as much. They did have them, but
they had a few, but it wasn't as big because they weren't leaning into things that were so quote unquote American.
Yeah, maybe.
The thing that really stole it for me, though, you know what I'm going to say, that Mickey beignet, which you can go back to our first day at Disneyland Paris and see.
It was really
that
good.
Mickey
That wasn't
beignet.
vegan.
It wasn't, but it was still, a vegetarian option. There was obviously still like some dairy in it, but hands down, that one Mickey hazelnut filled beignet, that beat out most of the other snacks that I had, even in Orlando.
Who knew the bakery and patisserie parts of Disneyland Paris were going to be so good?
Right? You go there and the baked goods are off the chain. Who would have known? But the I Lava You float, Dole Whip float that I had in Adventureland in Florida, that was the top snack of that holiday.
I feel like if you want really Instagrammable food, you have to go to any of the Asian places.
Oh!
Like the Asian, Shanghai and all that.
Asian Disneylands have the most Instagrammable food.
Yeah.
And then I think Paris is sort of high quality, but not as show-offy.
Yeah, maybe.
But it is a lot more high quality. Like, they put a lot of effort into what they have.
Before I went, I heard a lot of people online saying that they didn't like the food, America was better and all that kind of thing, and I don't agree with that. I really liked the Paris food. I thought it was really good. It is expensive because if you go, you sometimes have to have like a fixed menu, so you have to have 2 courses or 3 courses, so you're paying €45 each every time,
which
and
is
then you get your
what we experienced at the Remy restaurant.
Yeah. And that's kind of similar to how a lot of the places in Florida were going to what we experienced last year. So it is a bit more expensive, but I thought it was worth it. I was happy to pay because I was getting better quality, I thought.
So as far as like the best bits and worst bits go, I feel like Paris didn't have too many negatives. I would say that their merch and their pins is not as sort of prominent.
Yeah, their merch wasn't as good for me. There was a lot of stuff that I'd seen online that the American one's got, and obviously, I mean, Japan is just a rule unto itself.
That's a whole other thing.
I don't even want to talk about that. But yeah, all the ones that I follow from America were coming up with some really great stuff, and I was quite excited because I thought maybe they'd have that, and even because they've still got quite a big Star Wars presence there, even though they don't have Galaxy's Edge or anything.
No.
So I was a bit surprised to not see some of the new Star Wars stuff and things like that. They had some Christmas and some Halloween because we kind of went at an awkward time.
Yeah.
But
sort of coming up to Halloween, but not quite enough that they would release Halloween stuff. And still a little bit too early for Christmas, but they wanted to remind you that Christmas was still on its way.
So they had like some Christmas ornaments and like the general type of thing. The ears were kind of similar, I think. Like I'd seen these online quite a lot because this is the Disney 100s, like the decades merch. So this is like from the 70s. And they had the really cool Loungefly from Dr. Teeth and Electric Mayhem, which I really wanted.
You so nearly bought as well.
And I just don't have enough space. I took 4 Loungeflies and that was my carry-on luggage, and I put my clothes inside my Loungeflies. I had absolutely no space to bring anything back whatsoever.
And then we had the ballad of the Spider-Man briefcase.
Yeah.
Oh, so the ballad of the Spider-Man briefcase. Thought... Well, the suitcase, the travel roller baggage, that's the term I was looking for. Yeah. We thought we might be able, on the way back, to pay extra for some checked baggage. So I went downstairs to the Marvel, the Art of Marvel. It was a really cool Spider-Man head on the front, like 3D logo roller luggage. Bought that for €70. I was like, amazing. This is going to give us so much more space. We can buy a bunch more things if we want, and we can check the baggage when we get to the airport to fly home. Could we check baggage?
No, we couldn't check.
No, we couldn't.
I got told by the person at the front desk as we were boarding. I said, "Oh, is it fine to add a checked bag just in case?" Because I was concerned about the amount of stuff that we need to bring back. And she said, "Yeah, that's fine. Don't even worry about it. You can do that." And I said, "Do you have a stop, like a cut-off point?" And she said, "Oh, as long as you do it before you get to the airport, it's fine." So I just assumed night before then would be fine when we check in. So we check in online, tried to look, not even available, nothing.
Nope.
And I thought that was a bit unfortunate.
Bit unfortunate. So guess who had to roll it all the way back down to the shop and go, "I'm really sorry, but I don't think I can actually take this home with me," and had to get a refund on that. And then we had to get smart with our packing again.
Yeah. So
bit unfortunate.
Check that. That was British Airways. I'm going to name and shame British.
It was a little bit of a shame, but
it didn't ruin anything. Like there was no stress, but it was just I did ask. I actually took the initiative and asked.
Yeah.
And it was still wrong. But yeah.
But the pin trading game, even at Disneyland Paris, wasn't so much. There were a few cast members there that were happy to do pin trading, and if you go some places and ask specifically for it, they'll get the boards out. But it's not as big a deal in Paris as it is in America. America, I felt like the people that were managing the parking lots had pin trading boards out, so you could do it before you even got in the park. So
it might be a culture thing.
Yeah, I think it is.
They weren't as chipper in the Paris version as the American version. In America, it's like, "Can we do anything for you at all? I'll lay down on the floor so you can walk over this bit of ground if you don't like it." But in Paris, it's kind of a bit. It's good customer service.
They were still good. Very much more chilled out and laid back. They were very much more like,
Which is fine. I don't mind.
I'll serve you over here. Let's have a chat.
But it's a little bit more.
Yeah. A little bit more. It was a little
stoic.
It was a little bit less. Oh my God, let's make it magical. A little bit more.
Having a good day.
Cool, having a good day. Yeah. Which is fine. I feel like the Disneyland Paris specific merch is a little bit more attractive than the Orlando.
I went on more rides.
You
I
did.
found the rides to be better. It's not as. I mean, they're not thrill at Orlando or even California really anyway.
No.
But yeah, for some reason I just felt a bit more palatable.
Yep.
And we didn't really wait in any queues. One of the tips I would say would be, if you want to meet Mickey Mouse, go and meet him under Phantom Manor, because the queue was about 20 minutes.
Yes.
And my fault, because I didn't like the picture. I wanted to go and meet the other one as well. But you don't have to do that. just make sure the picture's right first time.
Yeah.
So we then queued for 2.5 hours.
Which
to go
was
and meet
a
the regular
significant
Mickey,
difference.
Which was absolutely ridiculous. And that was on our last day, and we ran out of time on our last day because we were doing that. But,
worth it.
You know, you wait in the queue
Worth
and
it.
you're 2 hours in and it still looks like you're a mile off and you think this is so irritating. I just want to turn around and leave.
And you just
I
go,
just
well,
want
no, I
to
can't
leave.
now.
And
I'm
then you
too
think, let's not,
too
let's
dug
stay.
in now.
And then you go and meet Mickey Mouse and then you come out and you forget that you waited for 2.5 hours.
I was literally like, right, should we go get something to eat now?
You just completely forget and it's just, whoop, gone.
It was pretty good. It was good.
But yeah, I would say definitely go and meet him at Phantom Manor. He's got a cute outfit on as well. So
At Phantom Manor, yeah.
I found that talking English to a lot of the characters didn't really
translate.
Go down well. I was kind of trying to communicate, and it is difficult in Suits anyway to be heard. And then when you're speaking a different language, obviously, it is difficult. But they weren't really kind of communicating when you were talking English. They were
gesture
doing it
wildly with your hands.
Yeah, and I took my Aristocats bag, and obviously it had cats all over it, and I kind of showed it to Mickey, and I said, "Oh no, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to bring this. Don't look, it's got cats all over it." As a joke. And I kind of got. I mean, if he could stare more blankly, that's what. Yeah. But I don't care.
I think that no, it's still an amazing time.
I just love him.
I think that Paris has the best versions of specific rides. There.
Yeah, the Pirates of the Caribbean ones are really good.
The Pirates of the Caribbean is still very much the original version, which is very cool, other than some minor changes. Big Thunder Mountain is the best version of Big Thunder Mountain at Paris. Phantom Manor is one of the most unique versions of Haunted Mansion.
I loved that you could walk
out of
through
any
the front
park.
door. That was really exciting.
You literally go in through the front doors. It has Vincent Price, which is a big thing.
Of the graveyard and that type of thing. There isn't as big.
No. But
yeah, you can walk through the front door, so that makes
it's still very, very cool.
Yeah.
And the version of Tomorrowland that they have, which is Discoveryland, is the best version of Tomorrowland at Disneyland Paris because it's so unique and it's themed like Jules Verne and steampunk and 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea and everything like that. And it is the most unique looking version of Tomorrowland out of any park. And I seriously love that. Now, as with any trip and with any kind of filming of things, you're going to experience a couple of snafus here and there. And we are no strangers to that. So, with that in mind, enjoy a selection, if you will, of little snafus, outtakes, and redos that we had to do during the park, during our times at Orlando and Disneyland Paris as well. Take it away, past selves. Oh, it's coming. Oh. So, we find ourselves now.
Gecko's on the other side. Oh, he made it out. Oh, that's good. I was worried about him and his health. Oh god, as soon as I push the record button, everything starts interrupting me, doesn't it? I'm going off, Gecko's over the place. Oh, he missed. Well, because Phantasmic will be on tonight. Are you having trouble there? Are you? Do you want to stop so you can, No? Having trouble with your necklace? You had it right a second ago.
I don't know, they just keep, like...
Getting tangled?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because I want to tap.
Take it back, buy another one. Oh, sorry. She didn't like that. It is Wednesday, my dudes. It is. We're going to see what we can do about Grinch. I am losing a lot of light here. So, we're going to do Poseidon's Fury. Excuse you. We'll probably for another jam-packed all day tomorrow. Let me see if I can get some light on my face here. There we go. So we're going to head on to City Walk. Coming up on... Bless you. Bless you. All right, there. So it is coming up on... About to watch fireworks. I surprised you with that. Didn't realise there was a camera coming right in at you. About to watch fireworks. So we just said, ugh. So, I don't know what that was. Oh, okay. So we just had, look at the fancy shower gels. Look at the fancy shower gels. These that have been in our luggage. And there's someone at the door as well. So I'm gonna give the better quick test. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, this'll do. So we're just heading into Discovery Land. Ooh, what have we seen? Oh, the view of the castle is nice there. So we are just heading into Discovery Land to start our day. The way it works is it's like a virtual queue. So, hey! This guy, he knows. Who was that guy? I don't know. Something's happening above us. But yeah, so Flight Force was, I'll try that again. So, we are now in line again for Big Thunder Mountain. What do you mean it's not flattering? I can do it like that, there you go, how's that? I'll do it down there. So we are now in line once again for Big Thunder Mountain. So we just came off of the ride. Exciting stuff. We're gonna go see some superheroes. There we go. We're gonna go see some superheroes.
Ah, wasn't that brilliant? Oh, I remember those fondly. So the big question is, what are we going to be doing next for travel vlogs? And that's actually a really good question because we don't actually have anything specific planned. But that being said, Universal Studios are due to open Epic Universe in about 2 years' time, which I'm excited to go and do. And I really want to see what that's like. And by that point, Disney would have made a bunch of changes to some certain parks.
Don't know.
Which I think they're going to make some changes in Hollywood Studios. There's going to be some other things going in there. I think they're going to be adding some things to Epcot still. So there's some new things going in at Epcot. We really want to go and see some of the Asian Disneylands. Hong Kong Disney.
I want to go back to Disneyland Paris when Arundel's there.
Yeah, Disneyland Paris is opening Arundel, and that's going to be in like a couple of years' time as well. So that's going to be really exciting to go and see that.
I want to go on a Disney cruise.
Disney cruise is an option as well. Tokyo Disney Sea. Anyone that's ever been to Tokyo Disney Sea generally comes away saying it is the best Disney park out of all of the parks there, which is a big deal. So
yeah, and people always say things like that, like, oh, if you're going to choose one, go to this one. Well, I'm not just going to choose one, so it's moot.
Yeah, I mean, we
I want to go to all of them.
We could end up going to all of them.
I don't mind. I'm not bothered.
Aulani Resort in Hawaii, we want to go and eventually do that at some point in the somewhat distant future. But as for what we specifically have planned next, we will be heading back to Disneyland Paris in the spring of next year. That's only going to be for like a day or two on as part of a different trip that we're going on. So we might well do a little bit of a vlog catch up for that. We might not. But the next big trip is still to be determined. So the best thing that you can do is subscribe to this channel and watch this space, as we will be posting news on what will be happening as and when we know what to do. But until that point, I've had a couple of really amazing Disney trips. And I think that we got the most that we could out of each of them. And we had a seriously, seriously magical time. What about you?
Seriously magical.
A seriously, seriously magical time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you did as well, didn't you?
I just like going to Disney in general, so it's never going to be a bad time.
Should we go back tomorrow?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, all right, we'll go back tomorrow. There you go, that's the next stage. Thank you very much for joining us on our travel vlogs. And I'm going to go away and until the next point, I'm going to be thinking about what to call the next lot because I'm starting to run out of Die Hard films to parody now. So, all suggestions in the comments section below. Thank you very much for watching and we'll catch you on the next travel vlog.